Jarrad, it's great to be able to sit and talk with you, especially after I'm guessing a tough season for yourself. First of all, how are you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm all good. I think the last few weeks have been the highest of the season so far for me. Getting back out on the pitch and after such a long time. So yeah, I'm in a good place at the moment, and hopefully that can continue.
You're back fit, as you've just mentioned there, the last few weeks. If we go back, though, to the beginning of the season, and then obviously you get injured, how do you look back on that time? Now you're back fit and obviously remaining positive. How do you look back on everything you've gone through?
Yeah, I think it's my first real long spell on the sideline. So I think for every player it's frustrating. And I think the way I came back and then got injured again, just that repetitive nature of how it was happening, it was very frustrating. And I'm hopefully now back up and running and past all of that, and hopefully I can kick on throughout the rest of the season, and hopefully that's the last of the injuries. Yeah.
You're coming back and you must be looking at that defence and people that you play with, train with, you've known for such a long time, but you've got Keane, O'Brien, Tarkowski as well. It's a solid defence, good competition. Are you excited to get amongst them and fight for that spot?
Yeah, definitely. I think I think I've said it previously. You need competition in every position in a squad to bring the best out of everyone. And I think this season, I've been on the sideline a lot, but I've seen the players that have been playing to high standard, and I think you can tell by where we are in the league table. So I think yeah, it's a positive that we've got lots of players in different positions now. We've went through a spell where we had quite a few injuries, so the squad was quite thin. But I think everyone's back, and yeah, it's bringing the best out of us all.
How did you handle that time? You said that first kind of big moment on the sidelines where you're having to rehab, you're having to spend time away from the squad. What was it that was getting you up every day? What was that motivation?
Just to get back out there, I think that's the main thing. You don't realise how much you miss playing football until you can't do it. So every day is to building block to come back not only like you were, but to be better and to improve. And I think that's what kept me driving every day to get back to where I am now.
So now you're back, you're playing, you're training, been training here at the
Yeah,
stadium as well for yourself. What are the short term goals and what's your long term goals? What are you looking at?
yeah. Short term goals. I think it's to play as many games as I can now at the end of the season. Be injury free and just take each game as it comes. It's been a long 8 9 months, so I just need to gradually build into to playing the games again. And I think long term, I think it's for me, it's the same. It's to just keep playing football. Play well to a high standard in the Premier League, and then and see where that takes me.
And I'm sure the manager, I actually spoke to him a few weeks ago, and the thing that I took away from that chat was that it seems he really cares
Hmm.
about every single player, that
Yeah.
man management side of things. How's he been over the last few weeks, but his entire time that you've seen him here?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got a connection with every player. He cares about how you're feeling, how physically, mentally. I think even recently when I've played the games, he's asking me how I'm feeling, and it's just good to have a connection with the manager, and it's not only me, it's with all the players as well, which makes them feel it's positive around the group, and I think he's shown he has that belief in us, and when the players have went out there this season, they've brought that onto the pitch as well.
And for yourself, with what you've gone through, how important was it having someone in your corner that's there, that's backing you, that wants you back on the pitch as well?
Yeah, definitely, it's massive. I think when you're injured, you need that, the confidence from the manager. Not only the manager, his staff as well, and all the medical team. They're all play a part in it. And I think when you've been out for so long, you sort of forget what it's like to be training around the group. So when you get back, it's quite an easy introduction because he's always got you in his mind. He's always thinking about like where you can go into the training and things. So yeah, it's been good.
And you can see that that's really reflecting on the performances on the pitch. You look at the league position where you are. What's he been saying to you throughout all of this season? You've obviously been kind of out of it, but maybe that gives you a different perspective. What has he been saying to the squad throughout everything?
I think the main ambition is to get Europe. That was what he said at the very start of the season in pre-season. When we went on a trip, he said he's coming here to push for Europe, and I think that's been the message throughout the season. We're in a really good position. Obviously, the game the other week was a disappointing result, but we've got to bounce back now and keep pushing for that European place.
I like that you've said that because it's very easy, I think, when you speak to footballers, to managers, they won't give their goals, but you've just said it there, that's a clear goal for yourself, for the squad. And it looks like you're heading towards it. Final push now. It's going to be difficult, but what's that feeling amongst everyone?
Yeah, it is. It's a massive task to get into European football with all the top teams in the Premier League. But you've got to have belief. Look at where we are now, and you're coming to the end of the season. So I think you just got to have the belief that we can push on, and every game's massive, and just take every game as it comes, and then see where it gets us at the end of the season.
I love when footballers say that because it's so cliche, but it's so true.
Right.
You have to take every game as it comes. How difficult is that though? In the Premier League, you know what goals you've got. You don't want to be looking at the Premier League table. You don't want to look at other people's results. But do you still do that? Are you still trying to map it all out as well as focus on the next game?
Yeah, I think you have a look, but I think it's the most important that you perform on the pitch, isn't it? You always have a look at how the other teams are getting on and things, but you can only control what you can control, and that's giving your best in every game and picking up as many points as you can.
This season, it feels like it's been boosted by the likes of Jack Grealish, of course, injured, out for the season, huge blow. How much of an impact will that have on and off the pitch? Because he's a character, let's be honest, but also he's a bit of a maverick. He can score, he can assist. How much of a loss will that be?
Yeah, he's been. I think you can see the impact he had on the team when he came in throughout the season. It's a massive blow. The quality of player. I think we've the squads, like I said, the depth of the squad now. It's a lot better than it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We've got different players in each position to come on and make an impact. So I think it's now down to all the other players that get the opportunity to show what they can do.
And one of them that will be, I'm sure, doing that, Iliman Ndiaye, back from AFCON. Talk to me about him as a player. What's it like in training when you're in the rondo and you've got players that are that tricky? That little smile on your face, it says it all.
I just try to stay away from him. No, he's a top player. I think you can see over this season and last season what he done. So hopefully he can continue that for us and start picking up some more goals and getting firing up the table.
Feels like when you're sat here, this stadium, I mean, incredible. Does that show the ambitions of the club? You've talked about Europe, you've talked about where you want to go as a squad. Does this, or is this just the perfect example of where Everton Football Club can go?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of the best stadiums in the Premier League for definite, and I think it is what the club needed, to take us to the next level, and hopefully we can start picking up some more positive results here as well, and make it feel like home a bit more, and yeah, hopefully by the end of the season we can do that.
Felt like that transition was quite smooth at the beginning. I mean, some of the results, they speak for themselves. Not been the best as of late. You've just mentioned that, trying to pick up more positive results. What would you put that down to? Is it just football? You win some, lose some, or
Yeah, I think so. I think it's always difficult when you're moving ground. You're so used to something. The fans are so used to it as well, and how it creates the atmosphere for them. They create for us on the pitch, and it pushes on to get results. I think it's maybe more difficult here. It's a bigger ground. You're not as close to the pitch. But I think it's something as players we've got to improve on getting results here at home. It's nothing to do with the fans. It's down to us, and hopefully, now until the end of the season we can do that.
I bet you're itching to get out here even more, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I can see that smile. Look at it. Let's talk about opponents, Manchester United. I mean, Monday Night Football, it will be incredible here. I'm sure the atmosphere will be amazing. They're on good form. You are 8th in the league as it stands as well, pushing for Europe. What can you expect from Monday, do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. They're on a really good run at the minute with the new manager, and they play some really nice football. Nice attacking, fluid football at the minute, which is it's nice to see. But I think we've got to, we know what we can do, and we're good defensively, and then we can start picking up some goals in the final third as well, and I think we can give it a real good shot.
I'm looking forward to it. You've just said there that you know what you can do. What is that as a football club? Not this season, but in the future. What can Everton do here at the Hill Dickinson?
I think it's just we want to play more positive football. I think we've seen that this season, the way we've been attacking. We've got the really attacking threat now, and I think the next couple of games, hopefully we can start to show that a bit more and pick up some big results.